at some point you'll want to add media queries to your grid in order to change what it looks like depending on whether it's mobile or tablet or desktop or widescreen, whatever you're looking for. You can do that, and most of the time, just like setting up the grid, we want to apply those media queries to the parent. So most of the work happens in the parent, and then the children just kind of sort themselves out unless we need a really specific case. Down here in the CSS, I have some comments. So we're going to start by our mobile view just being stacked A, B, C, D. And then we're going to change it up. So our tablet view is going to be a little bit weird. It's going to be kind of masonry, a vertical masonry thing. And then for desktop, we're going to go with the horizontal masonry. It's not true masonry because we can't really add extra rows to this and have it do funny stuff, but it should be interesting the way that we're changing it up. So down here, let's start with the mobile view. We turn it on, display grid, just like this. And then we add grid template columns. And what we want is we only want one column. So we just leave it at 1 FR, just like this. And then grid template areas. And here's where it gets interesting. We want to build the columns, or the rows, sorry. The rows are going to be set to auto, so we don't need to worry about any sort of height. But we need to tell grid template areas how those rows work. And the way you do that is by adding all of your columns into a single set of quotes, and then a space with another set of quotes, and you just keep doing that for the entire thing until you run out of rows. So here's our mobile view. We can add a little bit of space to that just to make it really pretty, and it is done. Our mobile view is done. Okay. Now all we want to do is we want to change these things. And remember, okay, item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, these 4 here, I've locked them to A, B, C, and D. So these are what I'm changing. I'm not changing down here in the children. I'm changing only on the parent. Auto prefixer is going to do a lot of work to change the children, but we don't need to worry about that. That's auto prefixer's job. So down here I have a breakpoint at 500, which would be probably right around here, where it's going to jump to tablet view. And we can quickly build that out. So again, this time I'm going to use grid template columns, and I want it to be 2 columns, just like this. And then we're going to add some rows, grid template rows, and here's where it gets a little bit interesting again. We want some of those rows to be auto, and some of those rows to be a fixed height. And we can mix those really simply. So I want 3 of them, because if we look back at this, we have 1, 2, 3, right? AAC or BDD. 3 of them. So I'm going to go auto, and I'm just going to put a fixed measure in the middle and auto. And what that will ensure is that the top and bottom rows flex to fill the space. And then from there, again, we add our grid template areas. And what do we want? Well, we want it to be AB. And then as a nice point of reference, I like to space this out just a little bit. And here we're going to go AD. And down here, tab it over again, really fast. And this one is going to be CD. So if we've done that right, this should actually jump right about here, and we get this cool Mondrian sort of look. But remember, we aren't done. So we're going to jump around to this, ABD, CCD. It's going to be 2 rows, and the columns are going to be kind of offset. So now we're flipping it around. I normally wouldn't do this in production, but we're having some good fun here, so we can actually just go and do this. And again, starting with rows, columns, grid template columns, and we're flipping it on its side again. So we're going to go 1 FR, and I'm going to go 0.5 FR to make that center column a little bit different, and then 1 FR. Now I can add my rows again, grid template rows, just like this, and I want the rows to be auto. So I just want them to take up whatever space is available. Auto, auto, or we could have used repeat to auto, It's all good either way. Grid template areas. And again, we start building it out. Only this time we need 3 areas per row. So we have A, B, B, and C, C, D. Okay. Jumps around. We could actually make that nice and clean in the code, just like this. And so now we have our mobile, and then we have a tablet size, and if we open this up more, it jumps around. And I never had to change any of the children. All the work happened right on the parent. This is a lot of code for this example. In reality, it probably wouldn't be that much, but again, work from the parent down to the children. Work from the outside in.